For the past 3 years, a modder that goes by the name Xcodius has been trying to recreate the original The Legend of Zelda in Doom, and now he wants some help to get the job done. Xcodius began working on the project after reacquainting himself with Zelda on the NES, and wondering what it'd be like to gallivant around an 8-bit version of Hyrule in first person. As luck would have it, that brainwave occurred just as he had begun modding for Doom, and he claims the tour felt like a natural fit from the get-go. After spending a fair bit of time working on the project, has made some startling progress. Screens and videos show an immediately recognizable retro version of Hyrule from the ground level, and ITSCU arrival US to see how well the game appears to translate to first person. Unfortunately, the time-consuming nature of the project means Xcodius has been forced to pause development. But rather than letting it gather dust, the passionate modder has released the files on ModDB in the hopes that someone might help him reach the finish line. After almost 3 years, I needed to realize that I probably will not get the time to ever get anywhere with this project, let alone finish it. Here, I have received several requests to release the files to the open waves of the net, which by now I think is the only valid option. I really hope someone with the passion, or just the know-how can have some use of this and maybe even finish it. You can check out the project, and maybe even download it yourself by heading over to the Legend of Zelda Total Conversion page on ModDB. Dirty Bomb is going free to play, in the most literal interpretation of the term. After an update next week, all monetization will be patched out of the game. Following last month's announcement that the dev team is winding down live support for the game, it's both a nice gesture and a neat way for the developer to thank Dirty Bomb's players for supporting the game through the years. Even though the team will not be making any new content for the game from here on out, developer Splash Damage announced last year that it was planning to end development of new Dirty Bomb content due to diminishing returns, and offer refunds to players that had purchased Merc Pack DLC, since it was not going to be releasing any more characters in the future. While Splash Damage does not plan to make more characters or content for the game, it does plan for Dirty Bomb to remain online and playable for as long as a meaningful number of players still logged into play. Now, as a thank you to the players that have stuck with the game throughout the years, Splash Damage is releasing a patch that removes premium currency from the game, making all of those items purchasable with Dirty Bomb's regular, earnable currency instead. The patch will almost triple the rate at which players earn credits, in addition to converting any single unit of premium currency into roughly 20 regular credits. On top of that, the team is bringing back some popular in-game items that, for whatever reason, were no longer available, though the dev says in the patch notes that not every back catalog item has been brought back due to some unfortunate technical limitations. Between Clash of Clans and Clash Royale, folks at Finnish game dev Supercell have proved they have got serious game design chops, and at this year's Game Developers Conference you will get to see how they have built their latest hit. Notably, Supercell designer Antti Sumla will be giving at Zentract.com, designing 2 tasty cores 3 times over. The case of Brawl Stars. That's all about how Brawl Stars was born and optimized for success, with controls much more demanding than those in previous Supercell games. A lot of design and prototyping effort was put into making Brawl Stars as simple and as well suited for mobile touchscreen devices as possible. At the same time, a very small team with only a handful of developers needed to design a long-term player progression system that would be a good match for the team's limited content creation capacity. After the game soft launched in June 2017, its player metrics were not quite reaching the ambitious goals. This prompted the game team to try to improve the game, not just polishing it up, but making major changes as well. While that was still possible, what followed was a more than 1 year-long beta, where the team tried to decide between two control models, but ended up with a third, and redesigned the progression system twice. Both fundamental core aspects of the game. This session will present the different controls and progression solutions, and based on metrics, argue that they were all good designs and any one of these 6 iterations of core elements could have worked. Further details on this talk and many more are available now on THEGDC 2019 session scheduler. There you can begin to lay out your GD 2019, which takes place March 18th through the 22nd at the newly renovated Moscone Center in San Francisco. Bring your team to GD, register a group of 10 or more and save 10% on conference passes. Learn more. For more details on GDC 2019 visit the show's official website, or subscribe to regular updates via Facebook, Twitter, OS. Gamasutra and GD are sibling organizations under parent company Informa. The Epic Game Store has altered its refund policy, so users can return games they have played for less than 2 hours within 14 days of purchase. It's a change that means the fledgling marketplace, which only launched in December last year, now offers exactly the same refund options as competitor Steam. Epic's Director of Publishing Strategy, Sergey Galyankin, who some of you might know as Steam Spy, announced the policy change on Twitter, explaining users seeking a refund will have to apply through player support while the team works on a self-service solution. He also revealed the storefront now supports regional prices for 30 different countries, with more to be added in the future. The Epic Game Store has been making waves since being unveiled last year, and has been praised by games developers for offering a universality 8% revenue share. Although it only featured a handful of titles at launch, more have been added in the weeks since, and Epic claimed a big scale-up last week. Their new BIOSOFT revealed it would only be launching the PC version of The Division 2 on Play and the Epic Store, making it one of the first big-name releases to skip Steam in favor of the nascent marketplace. Games for You, as out of the Brexit deal, finds its agreement lacking for game devs. Games for You has put together a breakdown of the Brexit deal the United Kingdom government is set to vote on this month, outlining why the organization says the plan is a wrong deal for game developers in the United Kingdom. It's a good resource for devs that have yet to catch up on the latest Brexit development, as the breakdown dives into the specific changes of the deal that would affect game devs in the United Kingdom and EU, should the plan be approved. That includes topics mentioned in the withdrawal agreement like citizens' rights, governance agreements, and border agreements, along with topics from the political declaration, like data protection, United Kingdom involvement in EU programs, the movement of goods and services, mobility and access to talent, and other topics missing from the declaration entirely. The withdrawal agreement is highly dense, at 585 pages, but fundamentally, it deals with relatively basic departure issues, not the practical matters for ongoing business and consumer life we really need to know. By contrast, the political declaration is much shorter, but full of waffle and jargon, sometimes 4 paragraphs at a time. Argues games for you. This makes it really difficult to know what it actually means or could be used in practice, which was precisely the United Kingdom government's intention, to give it the greatest room for maneuver in the future. But this also means it robs business and consumers of any certainty. Games for You itself is an anti-Brexit, pro-European Union, advocates for the United Kingdom's game industry. The group recently published an open letter with signatures from 1,300 individuals and 127 companies involved with game development tasks, while asking the United Kingdom government to put an exit plan to a public vote.